Peace, my name is Crazy Fingers. I don't talk much, I just let the beats play, so that's it.
What's going on, everybody? Crazy Fingers here with another episode. If this is your first time checking out the channel, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can get the updates every time I drop a new video. Also, you returning, thank you, I appreciate it. So you can see today I have the new t-shirt, Beatmaker, which can be found on my website, kfbeats.com, in the merch store. But you can hit this card right here and it'll take you right there, so you don't even have to type all of that information. So we're going to just get straight into it. Today's episode, I'm going to do a beat breakdown of one of my beats off of Boom Bap Jesus, my beat tape, which you can hit this card right here. It'll take you straight there. You can also find it on all streaming platforms. But this beat is the opening beat off of the project. It's my favorite off of it. All of them are my favorites, but this is my top favorite next to another beat that I'm going to do the beat breakdown on that one as well. So let's get into it. Okay, so how I chopped it, I already have the pads laid out with the sample chop. I didn't even use the whole chop. This is the sample. That's the sample. I'm not gonna, play the whole thing. So due to, YouTube and their issues with playing records. So anyway, the way I did this, I did the intro like. That was the intro, and then I have it broken down into 3 verses, but it's shorter than what it actually is. I originally made this beat to give to an artist, but I really wasn't feeling the direction where I was going with it, and that artist, it was just too much. It wasn't enough space in the beat to put a rapper on it that I wanted to get on this. So I'm going to go into the second verse. So I'm gonna mute the drums, and this is how the second verse sounded. I mean the first verse, actually. I'm sorry. And that's how the second verse, I keep saying the second verse, my apologies. The first verse, that's how the first verse of it, first portion of the first verse goes. And then we go to the hook portion. That was the verse part, and this is the hook part. So this is how the hook went. I know it sounds a bit off as the chops are coming in, but I actually tweaked it when I dropped it into Ableton, the finished product. Well, not necessarily the finished product, but next to the finishing stages. I broke down all of the stems and I dropped them into Ableton, but there's also one last part of this so the bridge part is the last part of it, and this is how that part went. Kind of like the intro, but not necessarily the same, and you'll hear the difference when I put it into Ableton. So we're going to go over to Ableton, and I'm going to play how it actually sounded in Ableton. This is what the finished product was. so you can hear some of the SP influences on it. I actually didn't do the glitches and the different filtering and the lo-fi sample sounds. I didn't do that off the SP404. I did it in Ableton, and I used a few different plugins, but most of them were native plugins in Ableton. So I'll run down everything that I used in this. I used the filter, to bring the sample in and out during the beginning. So when you hear this part, that's the filter going, coming on and then turning off, and then filtering out the highs, going down to the lows, and coming back into the high. And then, of course, you hear the lo-fi sound in it. That part, that sound, that crunchy sound, it sounds like a bit crusher. That was, the lo-fi bit reduction plugin inside of Ableton. So I used some delay, DJFX looper. I used that, and I used some parts of Rhythmizer in it. And then I used a flanger. I used some flanger joystick on it. Most of these are native plugins inside Ableton. And that was pretty much it. And then at the tail end of the plugin chain, I used something else. I used Stutter Edit. And this is a plugin that, it's an isotope plugin. A few people use it. I use it sparingly. Well, in this beat, I used it a lot, but I try to use it sparingly in my production. I try to use the SP404 as much as I can, and then bring it back into Ableton when I'm doing effects on certain beats. And that was pretty much all I used on this beat. It wasn't a whole lot. It was more so with the in the plugins in the master chain that I was, playing around with it and making it sound the way it sounds. So I'm going to play a part of the beat. So I hope you guys liked the video. And again, if this is your first time checking out the channel, I definitely appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and tell somebody about this channel. Share this video with your friends or anybody else that wants to see it. Again, my name is Crazy Fingers. Cop the merch off my merch store. Download the album. I also have some free projects on my website as well. You can get all my projects on all major streaming platforms as well. Peace, God bless, and until next time.